Hi, my name is Sarah Patton and I am the Principal for Wellbeing and Ministerial Development for the Diocese of Southwell and Nottingham. Prior to moving to this diocese, I was vicar of a church in Auckland, New Zealand for 11 years, and I've been in full-time ministry for around 15 years now. I've learned a fair bit about well-being along the way, and some of it I've learned the hard way. But if I can pass on to you anything that might be of use in these next series of short videos, then I hope your ministry will be long and fruitful, and you will avoid burnout and other challenges that impact people in ministry of all kinds. Ministry is a marathon, not a sprint. But sometimes in the enthusiasm of being newly authorised, you can run full tilt at it. And then when not everyone shares your level of commitment or enthusiasm, or you don't get the results you're hoping for, it can come to a crashing halt. It is better to start slowly and to build to a pace and momentum that we can sustain, even if some of us would really like to be racing cars. Of course, if you are a high-capacity person who thrives at top speed, that's absolutely fine, but try not to create a burnout culture around you for those who can't keep up. So today I wanted to go over a few of the basics of well-being. They are so obvious you'll probably know them all. However, this is the issue. We aren't always very good at dealing with the obvious. So the first is sleep. God, although he never sleeps, that's Psalm 21, designed us to need sleep. However, we often ignore this fact. Sleep affects stress, weight gain, concentration, mental health and mood, amongst other things. So it's really worth getting this one right. Jesus was able to sleep in a boat in the middle of a storm. But the Bible also warns against sleeping too much, of course, in Ecclesiastes 5. We're equally not designed to be lazy, but for everything to work in balance. The second essential is food. I'm guessing you've heard the saying, you are what you eat. Eating healthy meals and managing our treats has an impact on our physical well-being, but also on our mental health. It's totally easier said than done, as when we're busy we tend to shop for more convenient food as opposed to better for us food. But interestingly, one recent survey found that living longer correlated to home-cooked food as opposed to eating processed food. We know it's good for us, but our decision-making isn't always great around this, especially when we're under stress. And so we also need to make sure our coping mechanisms are under control rather than controlling us. And these can include chocolate, snacks and alcohol, but can also be things like gaming, binge-watching TV, or whatever else you use to take the edge off. Jesus knew how to celebrate at meals, but Paul reminds us we should be full of God's Spirit, and nothing will satisfy in the same way. Thirdly, exercise. We should aim for 30 minutes a day. Walking is fine, but go at as brisk a pace as you can manage. A recent survey showed that walking pace correlates to health and again long life. So if you can pick up the pace, it is good for you. And aim to get some cardio in several times a week. The seniors at my last church used to do something called chair-aerobics. It's whatever works for you. Again, we're good at talking about this stuff, not so good about doing it. But exercise has a huge effect on our mental health and is a key factor in combating depression, anxiety, and a bunch of other conditions like stress. Ditch the exercise at your peril. You do need to schedule it in though and make it as accountable as you can. Fourthly, stress. Government statistics show that over 600,000 people suffer from work-related depression or anxiety in 2018-19, and that 12.8 million working days were lost due to work-related stress, depression or anxiety, centred around things like workload, lack of support and so on. It accounted for 44% of all work-related ill health cases and 54% of all working days lost to ill health in the UK. Our stress levels aren't good, so we need to ensure we're managing our workload and our boundaries, especially where it is up to us to decide whether or not to do something. We also need to make sure we have scheduled time with God and with trusted advisors so we can manage our stress. A little stress is good for us. It helps us lift our game and perform well. But a lot of stress is crippling to the soul and the body. The Bible reminds us to cast our cares upon Jesus because he cares for us, and also that we aren't to worry, but instead to trust God for the things that we need.